Everyday Alchemy, Plate 10. The Salamander comes from the fire. The symbol of the salamander represents the alchemist's sacrifice of self to self. Ego death leading to psychological rebirth. This is the Philosopher's Stone. In this depiction, the salamander is seen bathing in the center of three fires. These three fires represent the three base components of our human character: mind, emotion, and body. The alchemical allegory of the fire always symbolizes an instrument used to transform and transmute the idea of self. Earlier, we were given the technical terms which correspond to the four basic elements: solutio with water, coagulatio with earth, sublimatio with air, and calcinatio for fire. Fire may also represent libido or psychic energy, usually manifesting in early adulthood as sexuality. There are at least three prototypical rites of passage or trials by fire. The autoerotic unconscious conditioning creating emotional distortion. The personal power-seeking search of self and everyone else. Eventually ascending to the actions involved with individuation, becoming whole and holy through the refined consciousness of the transpersonal self. The way out of this wilderness is the same way in. To become invulnerable to the flames like the salamander, you must first be burned by it, then learn from it. This is the blackening that is becoming. Remember, black is the brightest color. It includes every shade, every state, every emotion. In the flames, freedom is found. The freedom from your former self. No longer responding from your usual place of wounding, of reprogrammed emotional reactions, behavior patterns, or biased beliefs. Only what is experienced can be integrated. Each emotion correlates to a specific frequency or color, and the portrait you're painting requires a complete palette. Once we drop our disposition for codependency in the way of overinvestment in the emotion of others, we have successfully synchronized our spirit with the symbol of the salamander. Lamspring alludes to the tendency for this salamander to slither back into his burrow once free from the flames. This is the same cycle that occurs within our psyches. The creative lifestyle changes quietly incubate our ideas, eventually unfolding as inspiration and illumination. Oftentimes, this private psychological progression is misunderstood by others as depression and isolation. Pay close attention to this possible perception of your path to perfection. This pattern needs repeating and must be done so often. In order to consciously integrate each change and circumstance life brings along the way. The goal is the eventual shift from experiencing the world from an emotional perspective to an imaginal one. The realm of the imaginary requires the intellect and understanding of all cultural symbolism and metaphor. Carl Jung became deeply interested in alchemy after noticing the close connection between the imagery in his clients' dreams and those found in alchemy. This is due to the fact that the bulk of our psychological transformations take place subconsciously. In dreams, we are able to inhabit multiple states of awareness, therefore increasing our ability to integrate the archetypical symbols our shadow presents to us and accept them as our own. The refining fire may also be used in metaphor as hell or purgatory, judgment. In the truest sense of the word, judgment is an evaluation. Using the analogy of a blacksmith, we can quickly understand how to make a better blade. Remember, the sword is the symbol for the intellect. Every hammer blow is used to strengthen and straighten the sword. Ego death is a key factor in perfecting this process. The sacrifice of self in the service of others is an unnecessary casualty caused by ego attachment and the emotional investment of codependency. From saints to sinners, sacrifices are made in every level of existence. The proper mode of operation is to sacrifice self for self. The psyche is able to bend and not break through the use of your imagination through meditation. This requires the constant work of self-reflection, and in this regard, discipline leads to discovery. The Philosopher's Stone symbolizes the alchemist's solidified wisdom and increased understanding. The stone is the perfect union of the sun and moon. Uniting apparent opposites has given the initiate the ability to integrate every aspect of awareness into the whole of their being. When your personality is complete, you will notice the withdrawal of your wounded projections and preconceptions. Now, in accordance with the Hermetic principle, as above, so below, or as within, so without, this wholeness is reflected in the imagery of the universe. This reveals itself as increased synchronicities, manifestation, and abundance. Your sense of the eternal and the sacred lends itself to the acceptance of the all. Our souls speak in the language of images and metaphor. Embrace the symbols and archetypes your soul will show you during your dreams and meditation. When one has truly become individuated, they can trigger the same process in their peers. This is due to the fact that when you meet somebody with a more expansive worldview, your previously perceived limitations concerning life dissolve. The alchemist, the individuated, are just more fucking words for the same damn thing. A shaman, a showman, a healer, a hero, a magician. The word for the ego in Hinduism happens to be Manna. This is the self-empowering psychic energy correlated with magnetism. Many times those with potent mana present are viewed as healers. One must come to know that all the healing resources found in others are found within themselves. This is the basis of the placebo effect. In psychology and self-help, this is achieved by formulating a carefully crafted question, one which will trigger the unconscious to answer. That is also how all forms of divination are performed, whether in channeling or the I Ching. Carl Jung defined mana as an extraordinary power or pure energy. Those with increased mana emanate charisma. This potent power source has been conceptualized in every culture, whether called chi, prana, or the force. This healing energy is in all of us. Mana is magnetism, and magnetism is magic. The ability to heal others is learned from a life of healing yourself. Shamans characteristically suffer a seemingly schizophrenic breakdown of personality, yet somehow find a solution out of their suffering. Verbal magic is unbelievably effective at penetrating the subconscious psyche. The impersonal presence felt from mana is the root of all magical and religious experience. You should know by now that everything is vibration and frequency. Expanding on that awareness, it manifests as electromagnetism. Mana is always close at hand. The modern healer is more of a mystic. Our sick care structured health services are only reacting to the reverberations your energy blockades have previously made. No man can remain in mint condition. We never needed to be. Our catastrophes create our destinies. Our wounding activates our healing. Why shouldn't you be as daring in life as you are in your dreams? Me? I've become a sleepwalker, a dream maker. When I see it, I say it. When I know it, I name it. This is how we create our own reality, through the identification of the archetypical metaphors as they appear in your imagination. Meditation provides the balance and silence required for the reuptake. The basic symbolism of the yogic quest and the magician's initiation are the same. Both must die daily in the dreamscape. This is samadhi, the ability to occupy the space containing the sacred symbolism of their society. Their body has become their holy temple. For both the shaman and the magician, the final goal is freedom from their contemporary social forms. By now, I'm sure you're somewhat of a shaman yourself, definitely a magician. You learned the secret to my sleight of mind and sleight of hand. I'm still not sure I can completely heal all of my hurt, because to be honest, I'm not entirely sure I'm ready. What I do know is, I'm not in a hurry. I'm happy, whole, and for the first time, at least as long as I can remember, I'm wide open, unflinching in the face of the unknown, not because I'm impenetrable, because I'm empowered. My scars are the scriptures of my skin. My pain produced my purpose. What always seemed like my cross to bear became my creativity and character arc. All I ever had to do was observe my own unfolding without evaluating it. After all, if a salamander can find itself in the fire, why can't we?